Yay, I'm so happy you're here learning how to make the Salerno bikini part of the Amalfi series. And I'm making it out of this gorgeous snake print here. And as you can see, I've got the wide bands going from the front to the back, up over the waist and hips and down through the back. And it just gives lines. It makes the bum look like the ultimate peach and really elongates your legs and cinches in the waist with those stripes. So I hope you've got your pattern ready and you've already cut it out, and we can get started on bringing this beauty to life. Okay, so here are the patterns. So I've already cut it out and I have chosen a small, which is Australia size 10, and just go ahead, cut those out, and you'll have one that says front or back and the other one will say front or back. So the smaller triangle one is the front and this one here is the back, but it's all written on the pattern for you. All right, so the gorgeous material I'm going to start with is this snake print that's got this gorgeous holographic feel to it. And when I put the seams together, you can see that it matches. Now, I'm not sure anyone will notice whether you're going to have this on stage. It doesn't matter. I think as a designer or someone that's making their own clothes, you want everything to match beautifully, and this is what I'm here for. So that's all cut out nicely, and I'm just going to place the right sides together of the main fabric. And then I'm going to get my lining with the right side facing up. And then I'll place the other lining with the right side facing down. And then I'm going to secure this with some pins, and then I will sew this. So I've decided to sew this with my sewing machine. I'm not my serger because I get messages all the time saying, are your patterns okay for sewing machines? Yes, 100% all my patterns can be done with a sewing machine. You don't need a serger. So I'll just show you how I do it with a sewing machine to mimic the stitch of the serger. So getting those pins in and making sure that the crotch seam is nicely lined up. And then I'm going to sew a straight stitch, and there it is. So I've already included the seam allowance in these patterns, so it's just 1/4 of an inch. You do your straight stitch and then a zigzag stitch on the right hand side of your straight stitch next to it. So that's kind of mimicking what a serger or an overlocker would be doing. You don't normally have to do this on this kind of material because it's not going to fray, or it's not going to kind of like fall apart. But this is good practice if you're looking to get into, the serger or the overlocker game. So I'm just doing a zigzag stitch next to the straight stitch. The width is 3, the length is 3, forward and back at the ends, and that's it. And that will mimic a serger. There you are. That's what it looks like next to the straight stitch. Perfect. I'm really happy with that. All right, so now we just unravel everything, and that's pretty much it. Like, it just unravels. As you can see that the seam is matching and it looks gorgeous. You can't even tell there's a seam or a fold. And then that's the inside of the lining. And then we're just going to pin everything together. So I'm pinning the corners first just to make sure that everything lines up. And then I'm going to pin all the way around the edges before I do my zigzag stitch. So you can go on ahead or just watch my process and then go to your sewing machine. I've sped things up a little bit just so that I'm not wasting your time, but I'm giving you an idea of how it all happens corners are done, the edges are done, and then I'll go to my sewing machine and sew a zigzag stitch all the way around. And there we go. So the zigzag stitch is in and it's looking beautiful. It feels nice and soft. All of the edges are matching. And we're good to go with our fold over elastic. So the fold over elastic I'm going to be using in this is 15 millimeters, and that's it. So as you can see, it's shiny on one side and then it's matte on the other. I'm using the shiny side on the out edge. So I put the matte side facing the lining, so underneath the lining with the matte side facing the lining. I'll place that only halfway because then I'm going to do a zigzag stitch on top and slightly pull on the elastic at the same time. So I'm also cutting here 2 little tails, maybe leave like 2 inches on each side if you wanted to, and then do your zigzag. And as you can see, I'm not pulling a lot, I'm just giving an idea. Don't pull that much. Just a little bit as you're sewing your zigzag stitch. Alright, so that's on, and as you can see there's a little bit of puckering, which is nice, not too much. Got the zigzag in, and now I'm going to fold that fold over elastic. That's what it looks like on the other side, on the inside. Little bit of puckering, not too much. I don't want it to be too tight. And fold that elastic over just to encase the edge. And then I'm popping it underneath the presser foot, and I'll do my zigzag foot over the top of that. I'm sorry if my fingers get in the way. I just haven't figured out how to film it and not have my fingers in the way because I need them. I really need them to actually keep that fold over elastic down. So I just need that control. But I think you get the idea of the zigzag over the top. There we are. I'll just finish all that off, and then I'm going to snip these ends off. You don't have to. You can always use them as little tails and put a ring, like the tails through the ring, and have adjustable straps there. That's like the Ivy bikini. No, sorry, the Wisteria bikini, but this is slightly different. And that's what it looks like. So I'm going to continue on. As you can see, I've cut the tails off here and here. I'm going to continue on just putting the fold over elastic through each end first, like the top and the back ends, and then I'll do the leg holes last. And then I'll make the whole thing encased in the fold over elastic. So I'm just showing you one more time going in with the fold over elastic with the matte side facing the lining, front and back to start off with, and slightly pull on that elastic as you sew at the same time, and doing all that all the way to the end, and then backtrack on that. And then you will fold that elastic over to encase it. As you can see, it's a little bit of puckering, not too much. I don't pull that much on it. And then you can fold over and do the zigzag stitch. Again, the zigzag stitch is the same on the inside versus the outside. Length is 3 and the width is 3. So going all the way through until the end, do a little backtracking at the end as well, just to really secure that zigzag stitch. You know what? We're almost finished. This is going to be so easy for you to make. You could probably, if you're new to this, I would say might take you an hour, maybe hour and 15 if you're new to this. And if you're a seasoned professional, I'd say like 15, 20 minutes. It's very, very simple and straightforward. There we are. And I'm just going to snip the little ends off just to make it nice and flush. There we are. So now I'm using my fold over elastic again instead of just an elastic. I'm going to use this because I feel that sometimes you don't need it to be adjustable. It can just be super stretchy. So as you can see, I've got all of the elastics lined up. All the measurements are in the pattern on the website. And I'm just folding each end over onto the fold over elastic so it's got a nice finish. I'm using a pin to secure that, and then I'm going to sew them all with a zigzag stitch. And ta-da! It's all done. And it's super easy. Just head to the website www.indiajean.com and download the pattern and make it for yourself. Super easy. And that's what the inside of it looks like. You can trim off any excess bits and pieces, and you're ready to dance or sunbake or whatever you want to do in it. It can be like the hottest lingerie in town, or it can be the best dance outfit, or poolside party time. So either way, I hope you enjoy. Let me know how you go with your creation. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all your feedback and all your love letters, and I love it every time you purchase something. It makes my heart sing. I really value you. You are a part of my world, so thank you. This is the finished product. How cute is the bum? Oh my God. Seriously, it's next level. So excited to see yours. Please tag me at India Jean or even Sew and Strut, and I would love to see them. All of your creations fill my heart with so much joy. Thank you so much.